Haku, Haku, Santana, Julie Tumamayat Stensley. No on Chumash Katluna Achai. Cocowash Vincent Tumamayat. Keriwash Lucy Castro Tumamayat. Woyo. So hello, my name is Julie Tumamayat Stensley. I am Chumash and I live in Ojai. My father is Vincent Tumamayat and my mother is Lucy Castro Tumamayat. Thank you. Well, thank you for joining us today. We're in the beautiful town of Oakview and we are surrounded here by our native plants, and today we will talk about, we can't talk about everything, but we can talk about quite a bit in our time together and expand more in later times. But today we're going to feature a few plants that are here in the native garden, and we hope to encourage you to invest in our native community and our landscapes, and to get to be friends with some of these beautiful ancient plants that have been here and help to sustain the Chumash people for thousands and thousands of years in all types of things, as clothing, food, ornamentation, medicine, shade, as we're under our beautiful grandmother oak here. And we'll just go ahead and explore and take you on this little journey with us. I brought some things to share and tell you about. And, you know, as a native person growing up in my homeland, I think that in itself is something to recognize, is that native peoples here in the Chumash Nation, some of us never left our homeland. We're still here, and our culture goes back thousands and thousands of years. So those ancestors and those people laid the foundation for us in their interviews, in their knowledge that they had with this relationship with Mother Earth, Hutash. And because it was their supermarket, it was their clothing store, it was their pharmacy, it was everything to them. They wouldn't have survived unless they had that knowledge, learning from the animals and watching the seasons and calling and praying for rain. It's really dry right now. We're in just not even past winter yet, and it's really warm. As you can see, the sun is shining bright. So their relationship with this natural world was something that is unbelievably intimate. It is a sacred relationship. It is a shared, even scale relationship where we, not they, but all of us, we still today see these plants and animals as part of our family. Part of the essence that we see, that we get from them, we pay back with our prayers, with our songs, with our ceremonies, by putting them to work for us, acknowledging them, that of all the things that they have in them that still can teach and heal and support people. Now, we are in this time right now where people are shielding, they are hunkered in, they are distancing, and a lot of people have found nature to be their place to go to. And it's always, nature is always going to be here. The water, the mountains, the meadows. And so we ask that when you go into nature, go in there and it'll be there. It'll soothe you. It will give you some peace. But you also have to remember that there are other beings living amongst nature that have their houses in the bushes, they have their nest up in the trees, they have holes in the ground that they burrow and go under, and they fly over the sky all the time, which as you look up you see them and as they fly through. So all of that to take into consideration, that you ask permission. It may sound funny to you to ask what? Ask who? Well, ask the spirit of the land, and just say, I'm coming in, I'm here. It's like you don't knock on a stranger's door and just walk right in, right? Or you don't even go sometimes to your friend's house and walk right in their house. You knock on the door, and they know you're coming, so they're expecting you. Well, sometimes nature is that way too, that we need to sometimes realize that we may be disturbing these animals. They may be nesting, they may be mating, They may be raising their babies. Some birds lay their nest right on the ground where, you know, people can tramp on them. So, and wildflowers and roots are coming up out of the ground, and if you're walking not on trails but off trails, you could be killing those little sprouts coming up off the ground. So as you come into nature, go slowly, go in a place of awareness that you're paying attention to where you're going. And another lesson too that we ask as people that respect nature and go in it in a way, not to really gather, only if you really have to gather plants. I'd rather if you take pictures of them, that's good, because when so many people go into nature, they take too much, or they can take too much, and it's really important to leave some of that food and things, and we'll talk about in other films or other talks about how to bring those plants into your homes and into your neighborhoods and into your communities, such as this garden. It's in a public place. So, you know, we encourage you to do that and let nature just kind of be nature in its place for you to enjoy as you hike and bike and ride and walk your dogs and do your exercises on the trails and things like that. So we thank you. We thank you for this opportunity to come share the indigenous knowledge, that where I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know everything. I know a lot. I love nature. I grew up down in the river bottom in Miners Oaks, and that was where my play place was. That was my safe place where I really felt happy, looking at little bugs, little pill bugs or sow bugs, or playing with ladybugs in the water, or not in the water. I meant to say pollywogs, but I love ladybugs too. So you know, growing up in these places, in these rural places, we are not in a big city, and we have a lot of people coming in from the big cities to come out here because it is so beautiful. The Ojai Valley is so beautiful. So just a little background about that name Ojai, because a lot of people want to know what Ojai means. And if you are new to the area, Ojai comes from the name Achai, meaning moon or lunar phase. And it's a village. People didn't want to say Achai. It kind of sounded too hard maybe. So they changed it to Ojai. So that village is way up in the upper valley. So if you're going to Santa Paula and you take that windy road and you're up on the upper plateau of the valley here, and you're headed up towards the upper valley and into Santa Paula, that plateau right there was the village of Achai. So we have other names too in our area. Some of you that are in elementary school may go to Matilha Junior High School. Now, Matilha is the name of the village, and it means division. And that's a village that's just going up towards the mountains. If you pass the Deer Lodge on Highway 33, you're heading up to the village of Matilha, meaning division. Or you might go hiking up to Sespe or Sespeak, meaning kneecap. Or you might go on Cesar Road, or you live on Cesar Road. That means the eyelash. So we have all these names that we use. Topa Topa Elementary School. Sistoptopo is the native name. And if you look at our mountains, our Topa Topa mountains, which are quite beautiful and very distinctive, we use that name Sistoptopo, meaning much cane, meaning there was a bamboo, a grass, a reed that was growing up there that was very prevalent and abundant. So they pluralized the word Sistoptopo. So we have and are using some of our Chumash language here today all around the areas. So I want to thank you. That's the end of my introduction. So we're gonna go to talk about this lovely tree right behind me.